Hi, in this Databank coffee break, we are going to look at creating meetings. So meetings are a little bit complicated, and so this is going to be a multi-part webinar. And in this first part, we are just looking at creating a basic meeting. Now you're going to want to use meetings for any sort of event or service that is to multiple people. So for instance, a fundraiser or bingo event or any sort of like support group or anything where you're providing direct service to multiple people at once. To create a new meeting, you're going to start by going to Meetings and then Add Meeting. From here, you've got a form with lots of details to fill in. So we're going to start with the meeting name. And for example here, I'm going to do a bingo event. I'm going to enter this meeting date. As well as a start and end time. You can also set a registration deadline for this event. I'm going to set that to, let's say, just a few days before the event. And this is really only applicable if you are going to have people register online for your event. So the Databank comes with a series of online forms that you can use, which includes an organizational calendar that shows any meetings or events that you have set up in your system. So if you are going to display that calendar or these registration links online and have people register themselves, then this registration deadline is super handy. There's also a place to indicate here whether any special funding sources are applicable for this specific meeting. In my case, none. These next few fields are also related to that online registration form. So you can choose whether or not you want to add a tell a friend link onto that registration page. You can choose whether you want that registration to be public or private, or if you want the event to be displayed but not allow people to register for it, you can select none. You can also change the settings so that the registration status changes on a specific date. So for instance, you can have it go from public to private on a specific date. Status is kind of similar, so you can show whether or not this event is published or unpublished to your online calendar. And I'm going to set it to published. I want everyone to be able to see it, and I want everyone to be able to register for it. Under meeting type, this is going to be kind of analogous to your service categories. So we have classes, events, or support groups. In this case, events. Under activity, this is going to be similar to your service types. So we've got lots of options here, and in this case, I'm going to select social events. You can also set a maximum number of attendees and the maximum number of registrations that each person can submit. This comes in handy, especially for events where you're selling tickets. So let's say you have a fundraiser and you want to set it so that each person can purchase a maximum of 5 tickets. You could enter that 5 here, and anytime somebody purchases a ticket, it'll only allow them to select up to 5. This default registration status is going to be the status when someone submits an online registration form. So usually you would want this to be confirmed. You can, however, set it to tentative if you want to go through and review those registrations before officially confirming them in the system. For bingo, though, I don't think I need to do that, so I'm going to leave it on confirmed. This confirmation email BCC will allow you to enter an email address of a staff member so that you get a copy of their confirmation email every time somebody registers for this event. You can also enter credits for this event if you are tracking credits for classes or things like that. Now we've got this location section. So if it's an online event, you can check this online meeting, and then it will just leave you a space to enter in the URL for that meeting. However, this is going to be in person. So this location dropdown is going to show you any locations that you have previously used for an event. In this case, I want to enter a new one. So under new location, I'm going to enter in the name and then the address. You can also enter the county and funding district and congressional district if you'd like. Once you save this event, this location is now going to show up in this location dropdown as an option to add for future events. Now finally, all the way at the bottom, you have your description. So this is going to be any information that is relevant for people who are registering online. Once all of this information has been filled out, you can press submit to save the meeting. Okay, now that this is saved, we can see our list of upcoming meetings either by clicking meetings here at the top or by going to meetings in the main menu and then clicking list. That's going to show any upcoming meetings that you've got. If you have meetings in the past that aren't showing up here, you can find those by going to meetings and then search and then entering a date range for those events. One more thing to point out, I'm going to go back to that event I just created and I'm going to click on edit. You can also see a preview of what this event is going to look like for online registration by clicking on preview up here. So now you can see we've got the description that we put in here, we've got the date and time and the location. And then if you scroll down a bit, you've got your registration form down here. If you need to edit what information you are collecting on this form, you will want to actually edit that form under the form section. And that is a separate coffee break, so we can talk about that later. So that is all of the basics of creating an event. There are also lots of additional options. So you can set up a waiting list, you can add some custom fields for things like dietary restrictions or accessibility needs. You can collect payments, you can send reminder emails, and you can also see who is registered by clicking on report here. So stay tuned. We are going to have some additional coffee breaks where we cover all of those things as well as registering people.